Okay, I'm going to be talking about makeup design and hair. With curve players, we typically don't use a makeup designer unless we have some special effect makeup or unless it's the children's shows. Our children's shows tend to be a little more fanciful and have some really outrageous characters, so it's usually during the children's show that we usually end up having a makeup designer. The first thing that a makeup designer is going to do, like the lighting designer, sound designer, costume designer, or other designers, is read the script, read the script, read the script. You have to know it forwards and backwards. You have to know the time frame, the characters, the ages, and all the characteristics of all the characters, because makeup design can enhance that, the way that it's created. It can emphasize certain characteristics of certain characters, emphasizing age or emotion, if someone's happy, sad, rude, mean, scary, you can use makeup to help emphasize that. Now, the makeup designer is going to work very collaboratively with your costume designer and your hairdresser. Because if you're going to be designing some kind of fancy makeup on it, you want to make sure it's not clashing with the costume designer's designs. And if you have something like a prosthetic, maybe warts or moles, or maybe a nose or something, you want to make sure it works with the costume. They can get the costume on and off. So you're going to be working collaboratively with your other designers and, of course, with the director. The makeup designer should complete a design plot for each one of the characters, for gender, certain characteristics, and literally you draw it out. It's like a little painting of how the makeup is going to be applied to that character. And usually you would take those makeup plots to your designer or to your director first for approval, suggestions, before you actually start working with your actor. And of course, it's very important beforehand to talk to your actor. Does your actor have certain allergies? Some people have skin allergies and can only use specific makeups, and some makeup just doesn't work for them. You might have to search and buy something completely different, allergen-free. So it's important to be talking with the actors also. Now, ideally, the makeup designer only supervises and instructs the actors. And this is usually during like a straight show, if we're doing just straight makeup. The makeup designer should only really be doing some history, some research beforehand to find certain makeup trends of the period that you're currently in, so that they can focus on the design and then teach the actors. Work with the actors to show them how to apply their own makeup so that they're not stuck doing makeup for the entire cast. But the designer should be able to teach and show the actors in the show, ideally, what works the best for that character, that show, that time frame. The actors ideally should purchase their own kits also. This is for cleanliness purposes. You don't want cases of pink eye or skin rash being transferred amongst all the different actors. I've seen it happen, and it's very scary. With KP, especially with our kid shows and our large cast, the makeup designer is going to design and supervise their crew. Ideally, there will be maybe 2 or 3 people applying makeup for the cast of thousands that we have for the kids. And they'll also be the lead makeup person putting the stuff on. They'll also be the person that does the more complicated designs. And they'll teach their crew and some of the cast members on how to apply their own makeup. The designer should also purchase items. Maybe it's going to be specific colors, supplies, cleaning supplies. It could be fake beards, fake mustaches, prosthetic pieces, and they might actually have to create prosthetic pieces. Again, warts, noses, scars, that kind of stuff. Overall, a makeup designer should teach their cast basic requirements and techniques of design. And then they would supervise and maintain the makeup area and the supplies. And they would also do proper cleaning, disinfection, and sanitation of these supplies and store everything properly, anything that's going to be used at another time. Now, hair design can sometimes be done by a separate person. That's usually the hairdresser. Sometimes it's the same person, sometimes it's a separate person. We've been very fortunate to have a couple of very talented people work with KP, including Bobby LaBelle, Shara Wright, Megan's done hair for some of our shows. And a lot of what that person does is very similar to what the makeup designer does. Knowing the character, doing your research on the time frame, trends that are current for the show, coming up with designs and plots, getting it approved, and then testing it out. Ideally, you're going to be doing your research way ahead of time, and then you're going to be testing your technique so that during Tech Week, you get to see how it's going to look on the actual character. Your hair designer is going to work with your actor to find out, are they willing to cut and color their hair for a part? Do they want a wig? Would a wig work better? We recently had one of our guest performers had short, very punky, colorful hair, and it necessitated a wig for her character. So a wig had to be purchased, maintained. She had to be shown how to put it on and how to maintain it. And just recently, wore a beautiful wig for one of our productions. And she did curls on it. She maintained it, helped keep it clean. Not everybody can do that. Ideally, you should learn to do that if you're going to be wearing pieces like wigs, but not all people can do that. And a hairdresser should learn how to maintain wigs, how to style them, how to design them, how to maintain them, keep them clean, and store them properly. Again, the hairdresser is going to collaborate with the makeup designer, the director, the actor, and to see that all these pieces come together. Facial hair, that's another thing that some characters are going to have to take into consideration. Do certain characters have certain beards, mustaches, or goatees? Are you going to go without? Again, you have to look at what is the trend for that period of time that the show is taking place in, and what is the actor willing to do? What does the director want? The makeup designer and the hairdresser should be available for Tech Week and the entire run of the show. And they should be there to lend a hand, having plenty of bobby pins and hairspray, and willing to step in and help when something falls and something needs to be placed back, or maybe somebody took a sip of water during a show and wiped off half of their makeup by accident. They need to be able to rush into the makeup room and get it reapplied. So typically that's all. It's knowing the script, knowing the time frame, having a plan, and maintaining your supplies. And hopefully you're in the position where you're able to teach the actors how to do it themselves, so that all the actors can become proficient in doing their own stage makeup, at least general stage makeup, and maintaining a hairstyle once it's then set for them if it's a period piece during the show.